As far as obviously didn't play the stars didn't play in the preseason, do you feel, especially in that first half, the timing of the passing game was just maybe a little off?
I would say we were just off.
Yeah.
I would just say that it's a work in progress. The best thing we have is another opportunity to correct it, fix the things that are controllable. What's controllable? The things we do every day in practice, the things we design that give our players a chance, so we don't have the drag. There's too much drag, for us to score what we scored and yet play the way I think we're capable of. So I anticipate we'll play a lot better.
There was, it's probably fair to say that of a lot of teams in week one. How much is that a product of it being week one versus with respect to you guys, obviously new system, playing together the first time, and so forth?
I'm sure there's a lot to do with all the above, right? It's a new system. A little bit of rust, probably. The communication part of it, anxiety of playing, all right? Lamar, for the first time in a game, hearing my voice when he has to do it. It's one thing to hear it and everybody else has to do it. It's now communicating those things that are not hard. It's just diligent, continuing to work at it. So it gives us the best chance to stack plays because crazy enough, I think we only went 3 and out twice, the first drive and the second drive, and half the battle is getting the first down, and then we just found ways to just have more drag, right? Really the beginning part, and then at the end, we just didn't do it very well. But again, the good news is we get to fix it. We get to improve. We still got the win, and now we get to go on the road and see where we go from here each week as we continue to improve.
Offensive line and specifically was struggling at times. How much more challenging is that going to be to work on and remedy when you might not have Ronnie Stanley or Tyler Linderbaum out there?
Well, I would say everybody's a part of whatever the perceived might have been protection, which to me was fine. You're going to have, against the best in the world, some leakage. You're going to have some pressure. We can do it better schematically. We can do it better in terms of timing, in terms of where our eyes as a quarterback, our route timing, right? So we don't have to hold the ball. All those things are a part of everybody. Pat's played a lot of football here. That's why he's on our roster playing left tackle, and so is Sam. Sam played last week. So, again, Sam played in the preseason, played a lot of center. So we have a lot of faith in those guys. Everybody has injuries throughout the year, and bottom line is we expect them to play well, the expectation of the position.
How about just one-on-one battles? How do you think you guys did in those?
We were fine. It wasn't, again, it's hard to say at times one-on-one battles when there were times we didn't give ourselves a chance. We did some things that are uncharacteristic of what we want it to look like. It's probably the best thing. One-on-ones, I think we were fine. Really, at all positions, I think we were fine. I'm not going to speak to any one particular, but I think we were fine. It was just a matter of everybody taking their turns, including me, in terms of not being at their best or what we're capable of. And that's why you practice. That's why you continue each week to do the same things and get better each week, like a lot of teams are doing right now. A lot of teams that won feel that way. A lot of teams lost. Everybody's feeling that way of how do we get better, how do we improve as we continue. What team are we going to be week 2, week 3, and every week beyond? And the only reason you look back is to correct. That's what you do. The reason I'm looking back is we don't want it to look like that. You don't look back to feel sorry for yourself. You look back and say, that has to be fixed. That has to be better. That has to be better. That's what the word coordinator means. It means fix it.
Todd, we saw Zay Flowers be kind of the busiest of the wide receiver group, 10 targets on Sunday. Was that kind of the plan going into the game for him to be as involved as he was?
Kind of worked out that way, didn't it? I don't know. Sometimes the ball finds players. Sometimes the calls kind of go that way in the game. Do we want to keep Zay involved? Yes. Do we want to keep all of our skilled players involved? Yes. Sometimes it happens to go that way a couple more times than others. Like, was I anticipating getting misaligned and a bubble thrown to him? No, absolutely not. So there's moments where the ball finds him and you're not really actually thrilled with how that worked out. We got a lot to work on, starting with me. Okay.
OBJ called the offense really an undercooked appetizer. Is that something?
A
that
what?
You,
What's he
an
called?
Undercooked appetizer. How do you like that phrase?
He's talking about the wide receivers. So.
Talking about the wide receivers.
He said the wideouts were an undercooked appetizer?
Last week.
Their
You
production
mean the
in that
game? In terms of their
Their performance on Sunday.
was an undercooked appetizer?
You hadn't heard that before?
Absolutely not. First of all, he must order a hell of a lot more, like it's hard to have potato skins undercooked, right? Like fries with bacon on it. He must have some really exquisite appetizers, right, to be able to judge the difference. I don't know. Whatever that is. I mean, the bottom line is we all can play better. Hey, okay, I was an undercooked appetizer. All right, screw it. I got to be better.
Moving on from the food, when you look back at, you mentioned fixes, and looking back to fix them, what is specifically the biggest thing you felt like needed to be fixed from week 1?
I mean, it's hard to really say one thing or another. It's the start of the week in terms of your plan, so the players 100% understand what's expected of them when they take the field, so they can play fast and you don't have the drag. That starts with me and our coaches. Then from there, it is the ability to get in and out of the huddle, get to the line of scrimmage with enough time on the clock so you can operate, right? That's part of what we do. It's not like you can spend all day up there, right? So that's the next part. Get lined up. Once we break the huddle, how do we get aligned, right? That allows us to play fast. And then make sure that we're constantly looking at how do we get things done, not just from then once you get the assignment alignment, like how can we really function athletically and take it to the next level where we want the ball to go, when, how, what the defense is doing, which is what everybody's doing. We're just at a point we've got to continue to embrace those challenges of how we continue to do it better. So again, so we can live with the result.
When you look at the Bengals defense, what kind of at their tape, what kind of stands out? What jumps out at you when you watch their tape?
Aggressive. I think that's the biggest thing is you had better be prepared as an offense because you are going to get a dose of a lot of things that that give you issues, that challenge you, challenges your communication, challenges your ability to react. They do a good job of pressuring edges. They do a good job of challenging your protections. They do a good job of making you think about any play call that you may have in the game. If we get this, then what? If we get this, then what, right? Almost a little bit different than last week where they were a lot more stagnant, right? They're going to make you play to a certain standard. This one tries to be the aggressor. That's what you have to do a great job of identifying where your issues are and having answers for where you want to go with the ball.
Todd, obviously it's not great being without J.K. now for the rest of the season. How confident are you in the rest of the backs that you do have at your disposal?
Oh, very confident. Man, what a tough deal for J.K. I know a lot of guys are thinking about him, but it's what you do in this league. I mean, it's part of it, you know. But I feel really good about the guys that we have that are going to carry. All of them have played. I mean, Gus has played a significant role over the years, as Justice had, and then Melvin Gordon, having Melvin here. How cool is that? I mean, a guy that's played a lot of snaps in the NFL and is eager to continue to play and show that he can still play at a high level.
Does not having J.K. does that impact how you go about play calling? I know it's next guy out, plug the next guy in, but does it change things in some ways? I'm sure you're not going to say how, but
You know, it maybe in terms of the rotation, terms of specific skill set of a player, but not really in terms of the things we liked. It wasn't like, when we were installing things, we said, well, we really liked that for J.K. We would have liked it for that, just like if one of the other players would have gone down. Sure, there's certain things that he does well that I think from his skill set, but we certainly have plenty.
Lamar got a lot of those heavy pre-snap blitz looks, pressure looks from Texans on Sunday. I guess what has to improve operationally there, especially with you guys going on the road and maybe not having that home field advantage and the noise and everything making it a little complicated?
Sure. One, I think the I think the second week will help. I mean, from first week to second week, I think every day that we practice in the same system, I think the more he hears the calls, what the expectations are, as we get better with our communication across the board, because everybody had a hand in that. Everybody had a hand in, including myself, in terms of mistakes and how we do it better. So I think that's the first thing. He'd be the first to admit that we all can do it better, and he can do it better. I mean, that's part of it. The difference is the ball's in his hands every snap, and the play call's in my hands every snap. So it's like, you're constantly trying to evaluate what you can fix, what he can fix, what offensively we can. And it's not broke. It's just we just need to get better at the simplest of things to allow yourself to function at a high level. Because that's the drag. That's all the drag that stops you from almost. God, if we just would have done this, and that's not where you want to be. You want to get out of that zone of the almost, or boy, if we just would have done this. Now it's, hey, okay, that's the way it looks. Okay, make them beat us.